Last thing, I'll just briefly show you how you can build out your site in Craft CMS. I don't want to go too in deep because there's a lot of other resources that'll probably be better for you. But if we look in here in the admin panel, we can see we have simple entries, single entries for some of your static data pages that won't be changing necessarily. So you're allowed to add other features. So we have an SEO tool that's bringing this data in. So since I'm using the templates to bring in data, that's why you don't see a lot of content like on this about page, for example. Here we let it load here, we see the about page, and where I had those tags in the HTML template, this data you're seeing here on the field is what's going to populate on the page. So we had our HTML we already crafted, we turned that HTML into a template, and then you create your own fields in Craft, which is one of the cool features. As you plan out your site and you plan out your design. So this is the about page again. So I created 4 fields basically, as you see here: the header, page copy, plain text, and in my HTML template, I just created a twig placeholder for that content. So you're using Craft to basically fill data into that template. So when you're designing your page, you can imagine what sections of your template are going to be data driven. So as you're designing your page here, in my case, Pinegrow, if you were doing this in the other design tool, you can start thinking which sections in this design will be data driven. So you can start thinking of, okay, I want this to be, an H title that comes from the database. So from the admin panel, I want the user to be able to change this copy. I want the user to be able to change this image. I want the user to be able to change anything on this page that you can imagine. You want the user to be able to change. That's where when you're designing your fields in Craft, and again, it lets you organize your fields by page. As you can see, I have the about, blog, comment, etc. And then you add the fields you want to add, and choose what type of data is supposed to be in there. Here is the plain text in this case, character limit. So then it's just dealing with data. One of the nice things about Craft, like I said before, friendly for designers, friendly for developers, and friendly for site editors. Because all the editor would have to do is come onto this page, make their changes, and click save. They're also able to preview what the live site will look like. So anything they do here before saving, they can preview it within Craft. And so as a developer, as a designer, this was nice. I created my design. Then as a developer, I started considering how would I make this design into a CMS-friendly container so we can make those templates. Again, it's custom templates, unlike WordPress or other things where you have to fit your design into that template. Here, you can actually decide how you're going to lay out the fields, how you're going to get the data, to interact with the designs, to interact with the HTML that you've already crafted. So we'll do another thing about Craft at another time if possible, if necessary. But in this case, just wanted to show you how this site was built out using Craft after I'd already created the design again in Pinegrow, had done some cleaning up in the code in Espresso. I could have just done it all in Pinegrow because it's a full-fledged editor as well. But now you can see the life that this design took from start to finish.